Hi, I'm Lydia, and I'm going to be taking you through a water mandala today. I have 2 bricks with me and also some very essential water. But grab 2 bricks if you have them. If you don't have them, it's not necessary at all. They're totally there just to support perhaps your Shavasana or this opening section of your practice. We're going to be working through water, like I said, so focusing through Svadisthana Chakra in towards the lower sort of pelvic part of the body, through the inner seams of the legs. So deep hip openers, juicy stuff, and enjoy it. We're going to start seated actually, so bring yourselves towards the top of the mat. And you can take this relatively long, so less close like Baddha Konasana, a little bit more of a diamond shape. Soles of the feet not necessarily together, more so like a fist width distance apart from one another. And just finding a little bit of length from heels towards pubic bone here. So options, you might take your hands towards your shin. This is super nice if you do have an element of support, just to place it underneath the forehead and maybe just rest the forehead into that space, and you could have the brick or the prop at any sort of height there. You could also thread the arms underneath the backs of the legs and place the hands just towards the top of the foot space here, softening the chin down towards the chest. And we're really focusing on finding this sense of rounding through the spine. So once you've found where you will begin your practice, just give yourselves a couple of moments to work through any sorts of fidgets, move your hair into the space that you want your hair to be in, and just allow yourself to then come to a place where you can close down the eyes. Maybe bring that chin a little bit closer in towards the chest and really tell yourself that you can let go. And you can drop in towards the weight of the head here. As you come to pause in the stillness of this space, you do offer a sense of anchoring through almost the back of the hip points or in towards the glute space, but feel in some parts an equal sense of anchoring through the head, so there is heaviness at 2 opposite ends of your bodies. And a sense of softness that sits between those 2 spaces. As you pause in the stillness of this, we're just breathing normally, breathing naturally. Maybe within that you're noticing or bringing a subtle sense of awareness to where your breath is at today. Awareness to the depth of that breath, awareness to the pace of that breath. And holding no judgment about that, it's just breathing. Don't critique yourselves. So as we connect into the water element today, we're really starting to take on board that sort of sense of becoming water. Becoming water not in a way that we are necessarily picturing ourselves as that liquid matter, but we're taking the essence of water, its adaptability, its motion, its fluidity, and seeing if we can sort of translate that in towards our working lives as well as in towards our physical movement patterning. So there's a sense of continuous flow, working through things that perhaps feel a little bit stronger, things that perhaps feel a little bit softer, but showing up for all of it. As you continue to pause in the stillness of this space, maybe you're noticing that there's a little bit more depth that you can reach through. Bum sits a little bit deeper in towards the ground. Maybe there's more flexion and rounding through the spine here, heaviness through the head. And sending that breath in towards the heart space as we inhale. Open the mouths and breathe deep in towards the base of the bellies as you exhale. Let's do that one more time. Deep, full breath, inhaling. Open mouth, release, exhale. And sealing your lips and slowly just starting to bring your head upwards to sky. Moving any props that you might have had on your mats, place your hands either side of your legs and bring the soles of the feet down towards the ground space. Hands are going to go behind the hips here, gently pressing in towards palms of hands, soles of feet, and starting to lift your pelvis up towards the sky space. As you press in towards the palms of the hands, can you lengthen through the frontal hip points, opening through the chest, gaze is steady, take a full breath, inhale. And lower the seat back down towards the ground space as you exhale. Crossing at your ankle points, reach your hands out in front of you and start to step it slowly back in towards a child's pose, but let's bring the toes together and take the knees about mat width distance apart. Maybe moving to the very tips of the fingers here. And once again, softening the forehead down in towards the ground space. And as you find that sense of softness, maybe your chest is peeling a little bit closer towards the earth too. Building into a subtly more rhythmic breath here. So as you inhale through the nose, you match the length and you exhale through the nose. And we don't traditionally work with Ujjayi breath in mandala, so just finding equilibrium between those 2 points. And then we'll place the palms of the hands down towards the ground. Draw your chin towards your chest, roll through your spine, move in towards your angry cat as you take an inhalation. Spin your toes out, send your pelvis down towards the ground and open through the heart space as you exhale. Pressing in towards the palms of the hands, bring the toes back together, knees a wide base in towards your child's pose. We have 2 more here, so rolling through the spine, nice and fluid, bring it up on inhale. Toes out, pubic bone down, send the heart towards the sky. Toes together, knees go out, bum towards the heels, Svadisthana child's pose. 1 more, rolling through the spine space, inhale. Toes out, pelvis down to earth, heart is upwards. Exhale, bring the toes together back in towards your child's pose. We keep it moving, bring it in towards your tabletop position as you inhale. Let's take 1 cat-cow, navel goes down towards the floor space, heart goes upwards, take a breath. Pressing towards the palms of the hands and round through the spine as you exhale outwards. Back in towards your neutral space, inhale. Tuck through your toes, lift through your hips, find Adho Mukha, downward facing dog as you exhale. And landing in downward facing here. We're going to step the feet about mat width distance apart, so a little bit wider than perhaps you normally practice. And just letting yourself ground in towards that space, so equal weight in towards right foot, left foot. Maybe a subtle sense of lifting the sit bones a little bit higher towards the sky, softening the chest between your thighs. Pressing in towards the palms of the hands, let's take a roll forward through the spine as we inhale. Moving in towards high plank and lowering the pelvis down. Drawing the heart up towards the ceiling, toes stay tucked, thighs are lifted. Exhale, bring it all the way back, lifting through the hip space, send it back into downward facing. Just once more like this, rolling through the spine as you inhale, find high plank space. Exhale, send the pelvis down and draw the heart upwards towards the ceiling. Pushing in towards the palms of the hands, resistance as you meet back in downward facing. Feet can step where you choose to practice, so back in towards that more neutral base. Let's pause in the stillness here. Feel the connection of the hands in towards the ground, feel the connection into the feet. Collectively breathe in. Deep exhale out. Roll it forwards in towards your spine, finding high plank on an inhalation. Send your knees down towards the earth as you exhale, lead forwards with your heart, chest and chin. Baby Chaturanga all the way down towards your front bodies. Into small cobras, elbows drag back, chest goes forwards, inhale. Bum to heels, tuck toes. Lift your hips, Adho Mukha, downward facing as you exhale. We take a rise towards the tiptoe space on an inhale. Step right foot, step left foot towards the top of the mat by exhale. Halfway to lifting towards your heart centers, inhaling. Uttanasana to forward fold on exhale. Rise through to standing, Ardha Hastasana, bring your prayer to ceiling. Exhale, Samastiti, heave, float your hands alongside your hips. Bring it all the way back up, Ardha Hastasana, inhale. Uttanasana, forward fold, exhale. Halfway to lift, inhaling. Pressing in towards palms of hands, step it back, downward facing dogs. Pausing downward facing. Connection through the hands. Maybe you ask yourselves, perhaps what it was that brought you to the mat today. And without over-analyzing that, just hold that in your mind's eye. A sense of presence, a sense of awareness to something beyond the physicality. Pressing through palms, draw your right leg high towards the ceiling space, inhale.
Bend through the knee and open through the hip as you exhale, stacking right hip on top of left. And step your right foot outside of your right hand. Move to fingertips, flexing in towards that left foot, so you're on the ball of the toe. Take a little lift forwards with the heart and chest. And then as you exhale, pressing towards palms of hands, step it back, find high plank. Breath in, high plank, inhale. Chaturanga choices, exhale. Upward facing expansion. Downward facing, exhale, hips go high. Left leg draws up towards ceiling space, inhale. Bend your knee and open your hip, exhale, squeeze the heel towards the bum. Left foot steps outside of left hand. Right toe is tucked, fingertips. Draw your heart forwards, drag your hips forwards, inhale, lift a little higher. Exhale, pushing towards palms of hands. Step it back, high plank. Chaturanga choices, lower down. Upward facing dogs. Exhale, downward facing. Breathe through 2 breaths, inhale. Rise towards your tiptoes, look forwards. Left foot then right foot towards top of mat space. Opening towards your heart, inhale. Forward fold, exhale. Bend through your knees, find Utkatasana chair pose as you inhale, rise upwards. Root through the heels. Feel that sense of dropping in towards the back of the space a little bit more. Reach higher through fingertips, soft through head, breath for 1. Uttanasana, exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift, inhale. Press down through palms, step back choices, exhale. Take the practice as you need the practice to be. Open your chest and heart, maybe even your throats. Exhale, hips go high. Connect through the hands, connect through the feet. Right leg goes up, inhale. Bend the knee and open the hip as you exhale. Draw the knee towards the nose as you inhale. And send the right shin down towards the floor as you exhale. Tuck your right toe. Step your left foot towards the side of the mat as if you're saying, will you marry me? Turn the left toes out and lift the arms up towards the ceiling space, inhale. As you exhale, shift your weight in towards your left foot, breathe outwards. Sit into the weight of that left foot, opening through inner seam of right thigh, lift your heart a little higher, inhale. Exhale, send the hands towards the earth space. Step it back, downward facing dog. Hips go high to sky. Roll it forwards in towards your high plank, inhale. As you exhale, look forwards, wave it all the way back into downward facing dog. Left leg goes high to ceiling, inhale. Knee opens, hip opens, exhale. Knee towards the nose. Float left shin down towards the ground space. Tuck through toes. Right foot steps outside of the mat, pretty much in line with your left knee. Toes turn out with arms go towards ceiling space, inhale. Shift your weight in towards your right foot, exhale. Push through left knee, left toe, right heel. Lift and float your heart a little higher, inhale. Exhale, hands find the mat space. Step it back, Adho Mukha, downward facing. Roll through your spine, moving towards your high planks, inhaling. Wave it back, Adho Mukha, downward facing, exhale. Rise through to tiptoes, inhale. Step, hop, float or fly, land your feet towards the top of the mat space. Halfway to lift your chest, inhale. Uttanasana, folding on exhale. Bend your knees, Utkatasana chair pose, take a breath in. Interlace your hands, flip the heels of the hands towards the sky. Push the ceiling away from you. Hug the arms a little bit closer to the ears. Feel as if you're floating all 10 of your toes away from the mat. Keep that steady focus and drishti point. Calmer breath than mine, hopefully, inhale. Releasing, folding, exhale. Halfway to lifting towards your chest space on inhale. Plant through your palms, step, hop, float or fly, chaturangas. Upward facing, press away. Exhale, downward facing, hips go high. So we flow, 1 breath, 1 movement. See if you can really ride the breath, so don't rush it. Connect through hands, lift your right leg up towards the ceiling space, inhale. Bend your knee and open your hip as you exhale. Draw the knee towards the nose and plant the right foot in between your hands. Ground your left heel, reverse your warrior 2, Viparita Virabhadrasana, inhale. Circle the right hand down towards the earth, exhale. Back into the reverse warrior 2 on inhale. Repeat that. Exhale, release right fingertips down. Pivot into high lunge, bending right knee, lengthening through left leg, inhale, front of mat. mats. Bend your left knee and your elbows, exhale. Up to ceiling, inhale. Move through goddess, hands through prayer, turn your toes out. Take a breath in goddess, inhale. Bend your left knee, Skandasana, back of mat, exhale. Turn and frame your left foot. Step through high planks, inhale. Chaturanga, exhale. Ardha Mukha, Adho Mukha. Pause in downward facing dog. You're here for a breath in. We're going to roll through the spine, forwards in towards high planks, inhale. Pelvis goes low as chest goes up towards ceiling space. All the way back. Exhale, hips pull up towards the ceiling. 2 more through your spine, inhale, so we're really riding it. Going down as we breathe out. Not thinking about stopping anything really. There's a sense of continuous motion. Meeting back, Adho Mukha, downward facing. Right leg goes up to ceiling space, inhale. Knee bends, hip opens, exhale. Knee towards the nose, right foot in between your hands. Warrior 2 reverse. Opening towards the right side lung, inhale. Stay in Warrior 2, bring the arms back to T position, exhale. Bending towards your left knee, Skandasana, flex through the right toes. Bring it back into Warrior 2, inhale, look down your right middle finger. Right hand swoops to the ground, make a high lunge at the top of the mat. Breathing, inhale. Bend through elbows, hit cactus, exhale. Up on inhalation. Frame your left foot. Step back, chaturangas, lower down. Adho Mukha. Exhale, Adho Mukha. Take a breath in. Rise through the tiptoes and your knees down towards the floor space. Release your bum towards your heels. Take a little moment to pause. Pressing your forehead down towards the floor. Check in with the breath, check in with the sensation you feel within the skin. And see if you can really just let yourself find a sense of joy, a sense of presence, a sense of life in this space. Deep, full breath, inhaling. Press through the palms of the hands, roll forwards, find your angry cat, inhale. Tuck your toes, lift your hips, Adho Mukha, downward facing, exhale. Left leg goes up towards sky, inhale. Knee bends, hip opens, exhale. Left foot steps in between your hands, reverse Warrior 2. Ground right heel open through the left side lung, inhale. Left hand swoops down towards the ground space. You circle it around your back in reverse Warrior 2 on inhale. Exhale, left hand swoops down, but you connect a high lunge on the top of the mat, inhale. Bend through right knee and elbows, exhale. Up on it, inhale. 2 knees to bend, heels in, toes out, goddess. Breath in, goddess, inhaling. Bend right knee, Skandasana, exhale. Turn and frame right foot back of mat. Step to high plank, inhale. Chaturanga, we lower. Upward facing dogs. Exhale, downward facing. You can always pause if you want to pause. Or like a wave as hit your spine, roll forwards, find a high plank, inhale. Pelvis down, heart up. Back into downward facing dogs. I would urge you to slow this down and think about creating space between every vertebra. Feel every last little bit of movement, as if you're sort of unpeeling the skin from the bones, detaching the muscles to make a little bit more space. Our last one connects us all the way back into downward facing dogs. Our left leg swoops to the ceiling, inhale. Bend your left knee and open your hip, exhale. Left foot steps in between the palms of the hands. Move in towards Warrior 2 reverse. Viparita Virabhadrasana, inhale. Virabhadrasana B, arms in T position, Warrior 2, exhale. Bend right knee, Skandasana towards the front of the mat. Lift it back up like a lotus, bend in towards left knee, you're back in Warrior 2. Left arm scoops down, shift to high lunge, inhale. Bend through left knee and elbows, exhale. Up on the inhalation. Frame your right foot, step back, make a high plank. Chaturangas, lower down. Upward facing. Send your knees down. Exhale, push back, child's pose. Give yourselves a little moment to pause in child's pose. Heavy with head and fingers. Then slowly, slowly from child's pose, pull yourselves all the way up to a high kneel. Arms are going to go wide and high towards the ceiling. Inhale. Bend your elbows, like a cactus. Lift your heart up, stick your bum out, open through your heart, throat, and chest. Lift your arms to the ceiling space, neutral spine. Inhale. Exhale to pull it back, open through the heart, sense of freedom, sense of life. All the way up as you inhale. For 2 more, exhale to bend. Open through heart, chest, throat, maybe close your eyes. All the way back up. Once more. All the way back up, inhale. Hands to ground, hips to sky, downward facing, exhale. Feet step a little bit closer together, perhaps. Take a rise towards your tiptoes, inhaling. Step hop, float or fly, land your feet to top of mat, exhale. Halfway to lift your chest. Exhale, forward fold. Rise through to standing prayer to ceiling, inhale. Exhale, hands through to prayer heart center. Heel to the feet a little bit wider. Absolutely sweat my tits off, but keep going. Press in towards the feet. Shift your weight in towards your left foot. Right leg is going to hug up, and as you hug that right leg up, you're going to squeeze the heel in towards the bum and lift through the knee. Now, I want you to feel that this right thigh is really pulling up towards your chest space. As the heel squeezes in towards the bum, press down. Just open the right knee so it connects and touches the right elbow point. Can you feel a sense of length and height through the left foot? Sense of length and height through the skull. Be in your breath and balance. Inhale. Feeling a little work through the frontal hip points. Then releasing the right foot down towards the ground. Arms to sky. Utkatasana. Don't worry if your feet are a little bit wider. Take a full breath. Inhale. Shift weight in towards the right foot, hug the left leg in towards the chest. So you're going to squeeze that heel in, slight tuck so you can lift that thigh up. This left hip flexor is doing the work. Open it just to the side so you don't have to spin your bodies. That left thigh just connects to left elbow, heel squeezes it. Pressing down to lift through heart and chest. 2 calm breaths. Something about the need to balance always comes back to the breaths, helps us settle. Send it back down, feet together, arms high. Inhale, option to pause, Utkatasana. Option to send the hands down towards the floor space. Draw the knees in towards the backs of the arms and shift your weight in towards Bakasana Crow. It's Bakasana if your toes are down. Shift and lean in towards your heart via your sternum. Maybe squeeze your heels in towards your bum. Breathe, inhale. Step hop, float or fly, chaturangas. Exhale. Upward facing, inhaling. Downward facing, exhaling. So we play a little. Lift your right leg to the ceiling space, inhale. Bend your knee and open your hip, exhale, pause. Feel that sense of pressing your thigh backwards. As if you want to slightly rotate your hip, squeeze your heel a little bit closer in towards your bum. Breath down the left inner seam of the leg, inhale. Draw the knee towards the nose, foot between the palms, exhale. Ground your left heel, reverse your warrior 2, inhaling. We pulsate this, so circular motion, right hand down towards the ground. Reverse the warrior 2, inhale. You have 4.5. Exhale, go down. Inhale. For 3, exhale. Don't rush it. Inhale. You have 2, exhaling. Inhaling. You have 1, exhale. Inhale, reverse. Add that extra little bit. Exhale to drop down. Pivot in towards your high lunge. Inhale. Bend your left knee, elbows, cactus, exhaling. Up on inhale. Goddess, bend through knees. Little moment, press through your spine, lift through your chest, inhale. Left knee to bend, Skandasana, exhale. Turn and frame your left foot. Press into palms, lift your left leg high to ceiling, inhale. Draw your left knee towards your left elbow, exhale. Pause, take an inhalation. Chaturanga, exhale. Upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. Gorgeous. Allow yourself to settle. So here you could keep your feet neutral, or we could go back to that wider stance, about hip width distance apart. Connection through hands, rolling forward through high planks, inhale. A really snaky draw down, an expansive chest lift, inhale. Downward facing, pull up via the hips. There's 2 more. Rolling forwards, inhaling. Pelvis down, heart up. Exhale. Maybe you're riding 1 breath, maybe you're riding 2. You do you. Downward facing. Neutralize the feet width. Draw your right leg to the ceiling, inhale. Bend your knee and open your hip, exhale. Draw the knee towards the nose and plant the right foot in between the hands. Reverse your warrior 2, inhale. Bring it back to warrior 2 T position, arms. Don't go too deep. Bend in towards your left knee. Toes slightly turn out, flex your right foot, high-ish Skandasana. Push down through the heels, up with the arms. Warrior 2. You have 4. Exhale, go down. Push through the heels. Up for warrior 2, inhale. 3 more. Exhale. Arms help you, inhale. Exhale. Up on inhale, you need a sense of softness. Last time, exhale. Use your power to go up, inhale. Lovely, drop the right hand, pivot to the top of the mat. High lunge, inhaling. Elbows and knee bend, exhaling. Inhale up. Exhale, frame your left foot. Left leg to the ceiling space, inhale. Pause, or 3-legged vinyasa. Floating forward. Chaturangas. Downward facing dog. A little moment. Rise to tiptoes. Knees to floor. Gorgeous. So we're going to take, well, I'm going to take a sip of water, but you're going to take a little moment. And we're going to set ourselves up for dolphins or for Pinchamayurasanas. So thinking about today a little bit more of that kick up. Quite often we do a lot of that press work. I want us to find a little bit more of a kick, sense of floating, sense of freedom, not too restrictive. I'm going to bring my hands into prayer. If you prefer number 11, take number 11. I can do both, but I'm a little out of breath, so choosing my best one. Hands together, really lock into elbows. Tuck through your toes, you lift through your hips. So as your feet go a little bit closer here, you're going to bring your right foot as close as you can to backs of the arms. You're going to bend in towards that left leg here. Softness in towards that right leg, so buoyancy here at the base. This is going to squeeze in. So you're going to take an inhale to prepare. Then you're going to push off the foot, kick back, 2 legs will bend, land it back. So you're kicking up and down and choosing when to lower. If you catch a little bit of flight, you can pause. Maybe just see if you could draw the legs in, or perhaps they can come to meet. A little bit more in that hollow back space. We have 5 breaths. Inhale. Exhale. So as you're working through Pinchamayurasanas, let there be a sense of lightness, let there be a sense of play. We're breathing through 3, inhaling. Choose when to come down, so you put yourselves in the point of control versus panic. Once your mind knows you're in control, your body can start to mimic that feeling. You come down. Lovely, and we meet back in downward facing dogs. Hands to earth, hips to sky. Pressing through palms, inhale. We're into it now, enjoy it. Lift your left leg up towards the ceiling space, inhale. Bend the knee and open the hip, exhale. Rolling a little bit in towards that right hip, not perfection, just get the sensation. Knee towards the nose, left foot in between your hands. Ground the right heel, reverse, inhale. Drop down, exhale, let the fingertips kiss the floor space. Opening towards the left side lung. You have a few more, 4.5. Really lean into it, inhale. Find the joy in it for 3.5. Spine moves on top of hips for 2.5. For one last one, all the way through. This time we drop down, high lunge. Arms go towards the ceiling space, inhale. Bend through right knee, elbows exhale. Up for inhale. Knees bend, heels bend. Open through the chest, inhale. Right knee to bend, Skandasana, exhale. Frame your right foot, push into palms. Right leg goes up, inhaling. Right knee to right elbow, exhale. Pause, chaturanga. Upward facing dogs. Exhale to the down. So either last waves, last rolls through the spine, or hold your stillness. Let's breathe through 3, inhale. If you're holding stillness, really press into the palms. Find that sense of resistance against the mat to lift your hips a little higher. Turn your thighs, tilt your pelvis upwards just a little bit, get into that hip space slightly deeper. One more breath. Gorgeous, we meet back in downward facing. Left leg goes up, inhale. Knee bends, hip opens, exhale. Knee towards the nose, left foot in between the hands. Reverse warrior 2. Open, bend towards that left knee a little bit deeper. Feel the two-way go. Open back in towards warrior 2. Bend through right knee, not too high. Skandasana, so we keep the heels connected. We can go up, bend back in towards warrior 2. If depth is there for you, take it. Exhale, Skandasana, really meet it. All the way up, inhale, warrior 2. You have 3 more, exhaling. Up for inhale. We have 2. Exhaling. Up for inhale. Last of that little bit of power. Exhale. You got it. Up as you inhale. Drop the left hand. Fingertips kiss the ground. High lunge, inhale. Bend elbows and knee, exhale. All the way up. Frame your right foot. Press through your palms, right leg goes high, inhale. Pause or take it forwards, lead with chin. Chaturanga. Upward facing. Exhale to the down. Deep breath. Seal the lips, rise to tiptoes, knees to floor. So option for child's pose and Hattasana, heart melting. We're taking it back into Pincha Mayurasana. Let yourself play in the same space, just take the opposite leg. So setting it up. Left toes, right heel into bum. Think about pressing your heel back to where your skull is. Prepare. Partway through that inhale, kick up, choose to come down. So you're lifting through the hip points. If you get that little bit of flight, you ride it out. And then you choose, just before you fall, I'm coming down. So descent is super important. We think a lot about the up, the up, the up, but controlling the down also gives us that little bit of information about how much our pelvis has to move and tilt to support the getting up into the space as well. So as you're kind of coming down, the pelvis making a memory of what it needs to do to lift all the way up as well. Let's take just 2 more breaths there. Controlling our way down, thinking of the pelvic space. Let's meet back, downward facing dogs. Hands to ground, hips to sky. Beautiful. So from this space, walk your hands a little bit closer towards your feet. This is totally optional. You can meet a Simalasana at the top of the mats, or you can take a little rise towards your tiptoes as you inhale. Bend your knees, take a little bunny hop, and then place your feet back down towards the ground space. So maybe it's a little rise to tiptoes, a soft bend through knees, look forwards, bunny hop, feet come down. And we can keep traveling that also to the front of the mat. So you can reset yourself, feel that shift of weight. Bunny hop. And we will meet Malasana at the top. Bring your hands towards prayer. Lifting through the chest space, inhale. Let yourself enjoy that sense of heat. Open through pelvis, inner seams of thighs. Hopefully they're along for the ride. Inhale. Fold into your legs, exhale. Turn your toes in, heel toe them all the way together. Open through your chest, inhaling. Fold into your thighs, exhale. Bend through knees, Sacral chair pose, inhaling. Hands are going to meet in prayer, exhale, lengthen the legs. Hug the right leg in towards the chest space. Your right hand is going to go up towards the sky. On the inside of your right leg, you're going to cup through the front of the shin. Just open that out towards the side of the space and squeeze your heel in a little bit. Left arm travels to ceiling, inhale. Option to pause or option to reach right hand to inner seam of heel and extend the leg up on a diagonal so it's in your peripheral vision. Stay in the centered space or just lift your heart a touch. Embrace your wobbles. Sometimes it's the day, sometimes it's not the day. But what we definitely know is every day is different. Release and bring it all the way back down. Hands through to prayer. Take a little moment, sit into the feet. Feel the breath, inhale. Shift into the leg. Left leg hugs in and up. Hand goes on the inside, cups the shin. Leg just draws out, so I'm not taking it super wide. Arm to ceiling. Hand maybe to heel of foot. Lifting up, it's forwards. Reaching through the chest. Maybe a sense of lifting that front hip point up. So from the top of your hip bone, upwards towards your ear, upwards towards your chin and clavicle. One more breath. And we release. Utkatasana. Arms to sky, inhale. Forward over your legs, exhale. Lift your hearts halfway. Press through palms, step hop, float or fly. Chaturangas. Upward facing dog. Exhale to the down. The best bit. Third and final round. Right leg to ceiling, inhale. Bend your knee and open your hip, exhale. Draw your knee towards your nose and plant your right foot between your palms. Reverse, open through the warrior two, inhale, but then start to release your right shoulder down towards the inner seam of your right leg. So rather than hand, we're going to drop the shoulder inside the thigh and place our right hand towards our left hip. Dig the heel of the left hand in towards the left hip and actually bring your left hip up a little bit more. Left arm to sky or carry it alongside the head. Think about rolling a pubic bone underneath. Press the whole arm and weight of the shoulder into inner seam of thigh. Breathe for 2. Look down, keep the bend in the right knee, reverse. Open through the right side lung, inhale. Take the fingertips down towards the earth, make the circle. In towards your high lunge. Take the breath in. Drop the brain in towards your right foot. Hug the left leg. In towards the chest, inhale. Cross the left ankle on top of right thigh. Figure 4, exhale. Just sit for a moment, take a breath in. Step back, goddess. Feet go wide, bend a little deeper. Full breath, inhale. Skandasana, exhale. Turn and frame left foot. Vinyasas, chaturangas, or taking it straight back to downward facing dogs, as I just did. We meet downward facing, inhale. We're going to shorten downward facing dog. Step your left foot about a foot closer towards your hands. Ground down your left heel and turn your left toes out. Then shift your weight in towards your whole left foot. Shift your weight in towards your fingers and float your right leg up to the sky. As your right leg floats high, maybe you're just enjoying that sensation. You feel down through the back of the left leg. Or perhaps gazing center of the mat, take your left fingertips out towards the side of the space. pressure into right hand, left foot. Maybe to float the left fingers, maybe to bend through the right knee, and see if you can catch a hold of the instep of the right foot with the left hand. Rather than letting this be passive and hang, can you push the thigh upwards? Open through the heart. I actually find that helps stability because everything's going in more opposing directions for balance. 2 to breathe. Release. Back into downward facing. Little bit of shift, little bit of movement through the hips. Right leg goes up. Inhale. Bend the knee and open through the hip. Exhale. Draw the knee towards the nose and plant the right foot in between the hands. Reverse warrior 2, inhaling. Back into warrior 2, exhale. Don't go deep. Exhale, high skandasana. Keep it high, tone the right thigh. Just sit a little bit in towards that left leg. Lift your arms to ceiling, inhale. You can stay, or you're gonna shift your bum back. Reach your arms forwards, and from there, flex the toes a little further. And from there, maybe deepen a little bit more. Breath for 2. All the way back up. Warrior 2, inhale. Right arm swoops down, bring it in towards your high lunge. Deep breath in, right knee bends, elbows bend. Back up, inhaling. Hands down, exhale. Left leg to ceiling. Take it through vinyasas, kundalini if you want them. Have a little play. Upward facing. Exhale to the down. So this time I have options. As always, rise to tiptoes, knees to floor. So what you might choose to do, I'll show you with the left leg, but do it with the right, is bring yourselves down towards your front body. And say this is the opposite side. So with your right leg, bend it towards the edge of the mat. Send your forehead down towards the arms and just to let yourself settle. Asymmetric, so one leg straight, one leg bent. And just breathing in towards the inner seam of that hip. Either you're going to be there, or if you like to play with that Pinchamayurasana space, you can go up to Pinchamayurasana. For those of you that might have stability in Pinchamayurasana, you could play with finding a figure 4. So taking what you need within the parameters of your breath space. I'll bring you out when it's time. Inhale, prepare. Maybe we take that little lift up. Perhaps if we find stability, we cross right ankle on top of left thigh. We squeeze the glute. You might bend your left knee. Look forwards. Hold. 2 breaths. Releasing slowly. Everyone collectively meet back child's pose. Forehead to earth, arms along. Inhale. Last round, left leg. Hands to earth, hips to sky. Left leg to ceiling, inhale. Bend the knee, open the hip, exhale. Knee towards the nose, left foot in between your palms. Ground the right heel, open through left side lung. Drop your whole left shoulder. So relax into that. Find that little bit of sense of weight. Left shoulder drops in. Left hand meets hip or side of waist. Don't try to drop down here. Lift up. Arc through the right side body from outer side of the ankle. Through the hip space, through the rib cage. In towards the right hand side of the lung. Roll your heart upwards to sky. One more breath. Back into warrior 2, inhale. Left hand sweeps down, exhale. High lunge. Focus in the left foot. Hands to prayer. Hug the right leg in towards the chest.
Cross the ankle on top of the thigh. Figure 4, inhale. Goddess, exhale. Breath. Bend right knee, Skandasana. Frame right foot. Press into palms. Right leg to ceiling breath in vinyasas. Maybe a little Kundalini. Upward facing. Exhale to the down. So this might be an option to pause. Or shortening downward facing, turn toes out, heel in. Left leg goes to sky, inhale. And you can really push into the palms, you can lift the leg a little higher. Don't worry what anyone's told you about opening the hips for a moment, just breathe to the sensation. Maybe right hand goes a little wider. Bending towards the left knee. Catch the foot and remember, push up. As you push up, you might lead your chest and gaze a little further forwards. Find counterbalances. Find pressure and resistance into the mat and ground. 2 breaths, inhale. Lovely, we release, we take it back into downward facing. Left leg goes to ceiling, inhale. Knee bends, hip opens, exhale. Left foot in between your hands, warrior 2. Rise all the way up. So reversing in towards the left side lung, inhale. Warrior 2 as you exhale. Skandasana, stay high. Toes out, left foot flexed. Find your balance, hands in prayer. Arms maybe to ceiling, inhale. Tilt forwards, but there's still a relationship between the arms and the ears here. Maybe there's a little bit more depth, but draw your bum backwards and lean your chest forwards. So you're not super high, we're trying to rotate our bodies parallel to ground, whilst maintaining pressure through 2 heels. Breathing, or inhale, all the way back up, warrior 2, exhale. Left fingertips swoop down, high lunge, inhale. Elbows and knees, exhale. Inhale, take it up. Frame right foot, vinyasa choices. And when we meet back, if you took something asymmetric, you take the second side. So if you bent through the right leg, bend through the left leg, you can invert if you want to invert, or maybe you angle yourselves. Long edge of the mat, you can move in towards frogs. So 2 knees going wide. Heels, ankles in line with knees, arms can come down towards the ground space. And then you can start to soften in towards the forehead. Rather than shifting forwards like so, shift it back. Let me show you side on. So it's less about kind of dropping into it and more about really sitting a little bit above that space, fully opening through inner seams of legs. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Inhale. And take around 2 more here. Slowly, perhaps somewhat reluctantly, bring it all the way back. Taking your time. We're going to meet downward facing dog. Connect back in towards the hands. And just drift your awareness and your focus to that space that we opened practice with. A little bit more about that proposal kneel where the foot was wide. So we're going to return to that space now. We're going to rise in towards our tiptoes as we inhale and lower the knees down towards the ground. So your right foot is going to step to the outer edge of the mat. Turn your toes outwards. And as you turn your toes outwards, that right heel is only a little bit, a fraction in front of your left knee. You're shifting your weight in towards your right heel here. Your prayer is going to go down as you shift weight into right heel. We're kind of opening similarly to that frog space through the inner seam of the left leg. Prayer goes all the way up towards ceiling space. Inhale, lift up. You might want to choose to pause here. If you feel nice and stable, maybe you're going to bend through the left knee, lift through the chest space and reach your fingers towards toes. They do not have to touch. They might though. Feel the breath.
See if you can just hold in your stability. Keep weight into right heel, open through front of left quad. Return. Toes tuck under. Right leg steps a little bit wider. Wide base half Hanumanasana, fingertips to the ground. Left toes tuck, push your hips backwards. Reach your hands out in front of you. Forehead goes a little bit deeper and lower. Connection through back of hamstring, but still in towards that inner seam of groin space. And lifting through your gaze point, place your hands down towards the ground. Heel to your right foot slightly closer, but still turn your right toes out. Left hand connects. Lift your right hand up towards the sky. Maybe that left toe stays tucked and grounded. Maybe you want to squeeze the heel in. Your right hand is not going to reach for your foot. It's going to reach a little bit further down towards your ankle or towards your shin. Flex your left foot for me and push your shin in towards your hand. Feel like you're trying to slingshot your chest to the sky. Maybe roll onto the outer edge of that foot and then spiral your left side body up to the ceiling. Keep pushing shin into hand. That's generating your sense of tension here. A little bit more tautness through that central line. We release. Tuck through the toes, place the hands to the ground. Just step it back into downward facing. Deep work through the hip. Allow yourself just to soften for a moment. Gorgeous. Then we rise in towards our tiptoes as we inhale. Knees go down towards the ground as we exhale. So you'll see a little bit more of that line here. So stepping the left foot towards the side of the space. Shifting weight in towards the left knee. So I keep my body nice and forwards as much as possible. Shift the weight in towards that left heel. And you feel that sense of lengthening through the inner seam of the leg. So shifting our weight off center. So central point, shifting off center. So as you shift into that space, you might stay. Use the prayer. I like to take it down and forward so I can follow it all the way up. Drop into that hip point, feel the sensation. Maybe explore the sensation of a little bit more. Maybe it's here. Squeezing through heel. Perhaps those 2 points meet. You really have to work for your stability in this. Once you meet a place, can you calm? Imagine you could have a conversation. So there's a sense of effort, but not impossible nature. Release. Tug through the right toe. Step that left foot just a little bit wide of the mat. Shift the bum back, flexion through left foot. Inhale. Don't drop the bum, think about pulling backwards. So that's something to remember through all of our practices. And it's something I'm always reminded of every time that we film because it is so hard to talk and practice at the same time. An amazing challenge to do. But you really notice how much you can push yourself. And often it's a little bit less, and that is so fine. Bring it back. Right hand is down, pivot on the left toe. Bend through the right knee, left arm lift up, or perhaps you keep it tucked. Go behind. Hand to ankle or shin, flex the foot. So I can really push it back. So each place that you go to, sometimes things lean a little bit more into that cardiovascular space. So obviously naturally that is a little bit harder to talk through. But still there's a sense of being able to talk through your practice. Still into depth, pushing your limits a touch. We release. Hands go down towards the ground space. Tuck through your toes, lift your hips towards the sky. Maybe as you pause in this downward facing dog, you could start to press your forehead a little bit closer. Reach your fingers, take an inhale. Rise towards your tiptoes, let's lead our gaze forwards. Bring it all the way down towards your seat. And as you find your seat, just like we open, bring the hands behind you, soles of the feet go down towards the ground, just for a breath. Lift your chest all the way up towards the ceiling space, inhale. Maybe you open your throat. We exhale, bring our bums all the way down towards our ground and send our gaze forwards. So options here. Soles of the feet connect. If you have a brick or a pillow, anything like that, grab one. If you don't, do not worry at all. Press down through the soles of the feet. Let yourself lay all the way down towards your back. So this can be messy, this can be controlled. If you have a brick, I'm taking it lengthways, down the center of my spine. Back of the head can touch the ground. Arms might travel overhead here. Arms might open up towards cactus. But finding a point where we could just settle a little bit more in towards the heart. Maybe soles of the feet stay connected, or perhaps the legs go nice and long. So not quite Shavasana, but just starting to drop our awareness and our focal point into a slightly different space. And I do urge you to not just leave and go at the end, but go through all of these points of the practice as well. Especially in mandala, the entire thing is designed to give you a little bit more of a sense of balance before you leave the mat. So we've been sitting so deeply in towards that water space that we want to find a sense of balance by bringing awareness up to the heart space. We're in Anahata now. So we can relax from the pelvis, expand through the chest. Two deep, full breaths. Inhale. Make noise, let it out. One more. If arms are overhead, just taking time to release them by the sides. Journey the soles of the feet towards the ground, or if you're on a brick or anything like it, just move yourselves over towards one side. Draw the legs in towards the chest for a moment, wrap the hands around the fronts of the shins. Intuitive movement, habitual movements. Take a little moment. And if there's something that you're craving, it leads in towards this air type space, yin type energy, then take it. But if you're with me, meet your nose to meet your knees, squeeze everything tightly as you inhale. Either bring yourselves up to close in seated meditation or down to close in your Shavasana. And turning the toes outwards, palms to ceiling. Making notes that we've met this point of the practice by feeling the breath inhale.
As you continue to pause in your stillness, just let yourself really feel heavy within your bones. Lean into this sense of weightedness. Almost as if someone's laid a weighted blanket over your entire body. And focus into the spaces that feel a little bit lighter or untouched by that weight. And keeping space for both of these things. Connection to sky, connection to ground, and everything in between. Start to bring a little bit of movement in towards your fingers, your face, moving your tongue. And as you choose and as you need, we start to bring ourselves all the way up to seat, maybe keeping the eyes closed the entire journey of that. And as we come to meet back in this seated space, let's bring the hands in towards prayer or place the hands over the heart space, your choice, whatever feels right for you. And take this time and this moment to offer gratitude for your practice. Discipline for arriving, especially when you're practicing at home without that vibrancy of others. It tends to work and focus us in a slightly different way, but a really beautiful way, a really incredible way. Keep a hold of this personal practice. Keep a hold of this sacred practice. If your hands are in prayer, lift your thumbs to meet your eyebrows, Svadisthana Chakra. Continue to practice, and all is coming. Thank you so much for joining. So leaving perhaps a little bit more disheveled externally, but a little bit more calm and centered on the inside. Thank you so much for joining, and I can't wait to see you for more soon.